But if you haven't heard, which I'd be surprised if you did because the Bulls are meticulous in this way, the Bulls had a press conference. As you can see, I'm transitioning into the Bulls basketball if you couldn't tell. The Bulls had a press conference after their season ended miserably at 42-40. Now, some people would say, hey, 42-40 isn't terrible. But I would be happy with a plus record. But on the Bulls standards going into this season with a brand new head coach, a fresh philosophy per se, and championship aspirations, to finish in the 9th seed in the East, not even in the playoffs, at 42-40. And on top of that, it looks like they're going to get the 14th pick anyway, because they're going to, a chance in the lottery at this point is better than being eliminated in the first round of the playoffs, because the Bulls were an epic disaster this season. But still, a 0.5% chance of landing, I don't think they're going to get a top pick anyway. So you look at that 14th pick, what are you going to do with that? But the point is, the press conference was made on the same night, as I just mentioned, as Kobe and the Warriors, as well as in Chicago, both Chicago baseball teams were on, and the Chicago Blackhawks were in their first Stanley Cup playoff game against the Blues. So you be the judge. What's their strategy behind that? Organizing a press conference during the same time as all of this is going on. And I'll tell you my opinion, they're trying to sidestep this. It's a big deal when Paxson and Foreman and Hoiberg address the season. But at the same time, it's like they kind of sneakily, they kind of sneaked into this little spot where it's like, yeah, we did it. So, carry on. But what I'm getting at is they addressed the struggles of the season, and it was obvious. Paxson admitted that Hoiberg had some coaching troubles, as it was apparent, obviously. But he's got to figure out what kind of coach Hoiberg he wants to be going into next season, because from the start, he really didn't have anybody on his side, especially his self-proclaimed team leader, Jimmy Butler. He just immediately kind of dismissed him and said, well, he needs to coach us harder, and that was the start of it, right? And then you had this whole ordeal with Joakim Noah, and he said, Joakim Noah he is the Bulls locker room. He's the voice. He's the leader. And he was like, yeah, I'll come off the bench. That's no problem. But in reality, he doesn't want to come off the bench. He wants to be in because that's just the kind of guy Noah is. He wants to be in the thick of it. He wants to be a starter. And that kind of rubbed him the wrong way. So that relationship kind of got, off to a rocky start. And if you and Noah are on a rocky relationship in the locker room, how do you expect guys like Taj and Brooks and all these other, of course, well, you have to mention Rose, but Rose is on his own agenda anyway. But you know what I mean? That whole flow of the locker room was just kind of bleh from the start. And Jimmy Butler, I'm just going to talk about him for a little bit. I have a problem with the way he asserted himself as a leader. And Paxson even touched on this in his press conference, which I thought was interesting. But Jimmy Butler, obviously when Derrick Rose got hurt, he took over, and he was rightfully so. I would peg Jimmy Butler as their leader because he is very talented and he is their best offensive weapon as well as their best defensive weapon. One of the top two-way players in the game, not disrespecting that at all. But Jimmy Butler, the way he took charge as the self-appointed leader and kind of put a little stamp on the coach is like, oh, well, I'm Jimmy, you're talking to Jimmy Butler here, or Jimmy Butler can do what he wants. And when I say I'm Jimmy Butler, I can do what I want, that's what he did throughout the whole season on offense. He had no interest in being a part of this Fred Hoiberg system. And then you pair that with Derrick Rose, and it's just like, oh, this sucks, because you're trading away baskets, trading away possessions. It's like, no, I'm the alpha. Nuh-uh, I'm the alpha. I'm Derrick Rose. I do this, and I'm Jimmy Butler. I'm better than you, and I want to be the face of the Bulls, so give me the ball. It was just a lot of that going on, and it was just sad to see, because I really did have high hopes for this season. And Fred Hoiberg, I felt like this new philosophy, this instead of just bagging, practicing every day, defense first, next defensive possession first, I felt like this breath of fresh air would be enough to put them over the top. And I felt like that the teachings of Thibodeau's defense would be enough for the Bulls to not be one of the, crappiest defensive teams in the league. Yeah, they finished 16th in overall defensive points given up per game, but that doesn't go. A lot of the other teams that they were playing, they were just missing open shots. Because if you look at the stats, the Bulls are one of the best against opponent field goal percentage. And that, take that as you wish, but there's a lot of missed shots wide open the other team's picks. But I'm getting off topic here. The whole point is Jimmy Butler, as a leader, kind of took it the wrong route. He could have, even Paxson said it himself. You don't talk so much in all this nonsense as being a leader. Instead of, you would just kind of do things that make you a leader instead of just harping on the fact that, oh, I'm the guy. I came here. The Bulls wanted me. I signed with the Bulls because they wanted me. They knew they need me to lead them to a championship. And it's like, that's not how you act as a leader. You lead by example. You lead by taking on this role, not really self-appoint. You can self-appoint yourself, but you're not supposed to really. Who am I to say? But I don't. It just comes off wrong to me. You come out to the media and say, I'm the leader of this Bulls team, and rightfully so, okay? Because the Bulls need him to be that leader, but come on, man, you're doing it in the wrong way, and that just affects the game. Anyway, back onto this press conference nonsense. What happened? Gar Forman is apparently staying put. Why? I have no idea. I think this front office needs a total just reforming, because look at where they are today. And I bashed the front office in my very first podcast, and I don't really have to keep bashing them, but this isn't going anywhere with this unit. I need a new set of eyes on this franchise to put together a team that's championship worthy, because I am sick of the nonsense that Gar Forman and John Paxson are putting together with this. Oh, we're an attractive free agent marketplace for free agents to land. Give me a break. Their reason for that is that they've made the playoffs in consecutive years. You should make the playoffs in consecutive years if you're in a market like the Bulls. Half of the Eastern Conference makes the playoffs. But in this year, well, that kind of hurts your argument, right? And we've seen it before. Bulls are settling on consolation free agents all the time. But like I said, I don't have to get into that aspect. That's just one of the many. Gar Forman, John Paxson. John Paxson can stay, I guess. He can have a position. But, you got to get rid of Forman, please. But at the same time, I say John Paxson can stay. It's a problem only because he would oversee the operations of the GM as he's doing now, and he has a major influence on this roster. And so far, it's not produced anything good. They got lucky in drafting Derrick Rose #1, and by all means, I would give him that contract again 10 times fold, because he was the most dominant player in basketball at the time, and he was just filled with just so much value. And Derrick Rose, vintage 2009 Derrick Rose, holy, look at the film. This guy was all over the place. I loved him. But then all of a sudden, obviously the injuries just totally skewed his career into a different path. Now it's Pau Gasol, one of the consolation free agents that they signed in the last 2 years. They were talking about keeping him this offseason. They were trying to re-sign. They wanted to go all in and re-signing this guy. He was a major key focus of this team. He's probably going to walk. But if I was a betting man, which I might be, he would walk. I would if I was Pau Gasol. But in this press conference, Paxson, the major thing that I was looking for is if there's going to be any change in the front office, and there isn't going to be. So, yeah, if you're pissed, I am too. But there's going to be a roster turnover. So, damn it, Foreman, you better not screw this up, because I'm sick of this mediocrity crap. And we look at the roster now, we're stuck with Rose for one more season, and if they try and re-sign Rose, I don't know. I think that they just have to let him go. Pau Gasol's probably not going to be back. Aaron Brooks is probably not going to be back. And I said last week that you dump Noah. Thinking about it now, why not re-sign him for... I'm not sure how much. If you can get him for cheap, that's a very good signing. I would, his value is diminished on offense, but the value he brings to the Bulls outside of just offensive production is invaluable. And that's one of the guys that you want to keep in the locker room, too, when things get rough. I mean, maybe they develop a relationship there, but you keep Noah, but maybe move guys like Dunleavy and Snell. And I talked about this before, but it's just what I'm getting at is in the press conference, he addressed that even players like Jimmy Butler and Derrick Rose are, not off the table of being moved. So, I mean, yeah, that's a good thing, but there's a lot of work to be done in this Bulls roster. And I don't really have any faith in Garth Foreman, being the guy in charge doing it. So we'll see there. But damn it, Bulls, what are you doing scheduling this press conference that's pretty important? You're addressing an awful season. And John Paxson, this is the first time you're, making your face public in I don't know how long, pretty much all season you've been behind the curtain. So you do this on the same night as Mamba night? You do this on the same night as the Golden State Warriors breaking your franchise record in 73-9? Come on, man. Give us something. I guess that's just how the Bulls season is. But enough of them. I'm sick of it. I'm glad it's over. We just have to just wait, and we get to enjoy the NBA playoffs for now, where the Golden State Warriors are probably going to win it all. And if they don't, then haha, the 72-10 Bulls did. So that would be like that's the argument right there. But we don't have to go into that aspect, like whether or not the 95-96 Bulls are better than the Golden State Warriors. But hey, we get to enjoy some playoff basketball. That'll be fun without the Bulls, which sucks. I hate it. I hate that the Bulls aren't in the playoffs, but damn it, this is a slap in the face to that front office, and I hope they learn from this, and I just can't do it anymore with them.